2, 1. We're live.
Welcome back, folks, to the corner. Got myself a small beer here, and got my homie Alexander Trostrup on the other end of the line here. And we'll be talking a little bit about the inauguration that happened today. Ain't that right, Alex?
Yeah, and as you can see in the background here, we got it running. I don't hope we get cited for this or reported for this on YouTube. I barely have it showing up here, and also as you can see, there's no sound on either. So I think it really should be alright, especially if I have our faces blocking most of the video. But just to show that we have been up to date on this, so we're ready to discuss it.
To discuss it, yeah. Well, you know, like, I don't know, like I don't know what should I say, that you know that I'm disappointed. Yeah, I'm disappointed because I kind of like
Me too,
expected
man.
the inauguration to be something like out of idiocracy, where President Camacho comes out with this big fucking show and be like, hey! with some rock music playing in the background and some commentator on the big ass microphone being like, "Give it up for President Camacho."
Yeah, well, I don't know. That's not really in my, like, I'm more traditional, I think, just in that sense, because, like, what I wanted to, like, I pretty much, I think they did it very well. They started out like they usually do. The people arriving at the Capitol Hill at the, I think it was the east entrance or the west entrance. Doesn't matter. Who cares? But what I figured out today from watching the stream was there apparently is no main entrance to the Capitol. Did you know that?
No main entrance to the Capitol.
No.
Capitol Hill?
Yeah, Capitol Hill, the building, the big building where they had the inauguration.
Oh wow! Is that where it? I thought that it happened in the White House.
No.
No, okay, so it happens at the Capitol Hill.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, at least that's what. That's what they've been saying all along. Please correct me if we're wrong. But this is just a fucking. We are not Americans, so if we're making mistakes, that's all good and that's all good. So whatever.
Yeah. It's all good, man.
But yeah, I'm 90% sure that I am a little buzzed tonight, of course, because we got the Democratic president, guys. We got the new, or no, even better than that. I mean, I would have even cheered. I cheered the last time when we watched it in 2016. I cheered for Trump as well, for the peaceful what is it? Transfer of power, which is peaceful transition of power, which is the most important thing in all fucking inaugurations, despite every party. So I cheered for Trump as well, because that was a peaceful transmission of power from Barack Obama to Trump. But and it was this time because Mike Pence was there, and I liked that. I want to fucking emphasize that, because Pence being there, that does create some sort of balance. Because what Trump did tonight, have you been following a little bit of it?
Yeah, I've been following that. Like he refused to show up and took Air Force One to Miami or somewhere in Florida early in the morning.
He was not fucking present.
No.
What the fuck?
He said he wouldn't be either. They left like at 8 or 9 in the morning from DC, and then flew and then touchdown in Florida around 11 a.m. U.S. East Coast time, so about an hour before the inauguration. You know, like, many people believed that he was going to do something crazy with like holding some big ass press conference and bashing on Biden at the same time as the inauguration happened. But he actually seems to have had a little respect there and did not do so.
Yeah.
But like this was like known for a while that he was going to do that, because for the last month, it is also like the president's duty or tradition. I'm not sure which, but to go around to like certain military bases and stuff around the United States,
Yeah.
and say their goodbyes. But Trump said, "Screw that."
Wow.
Screw that
Man.
assets. Like I don't want to do
Holy
that.
shit, man.
So
How fucking narcissistic can you be?
it has actually been like Mike Pence's job the last month to clean up after Trump and
Yeah.
do all these things and go
Fuck,
to
man.
these army bases and stuff and say some words.
Yeah.
But I do like it because it shows that Pence does not want to commit political suicide.
No,
Right?
and I believe like also that was what they were mentioning, the commentators on this stream that I've been watching. This is actually not the stream I was watching. I was watching the inauguration committee of the Biden. I don't know. Like, let me just check it actually. What was it? Here, the Biden inaugural committee. That was a really good stream actually, but they ended their stream just as the beast left the lot, left the Capitol Hill, and like I actually thought like, because last time we watched it, it was we got a whole shot of the. You remember that? We got a whole shot of how it drove away through the streets. But we didn't get that this time around. Not, at least not on this stream. We got that on this stream, CNBC television. I like that much better. But yeah, like I think it's amazing how far we have come. I'd like to point that out, how far we have come with technology, because on this stream, the Biden inaugural committee, there was no fucking lags. It was HD quality from 4 p.m. It was 4 p.m. here in Denmark. That's probably, what was it, 8 a.m. in Washington.
4 p.m. in Denmark is 10 a.m. in Washington.
10 a.m. in Washington. So from 10 a.m. in Washington until 2 a.m. there was literally no lag, or like very small lags compared to like 4 years ago, where I remember we had a bunch of errors actually, and a bunch of lag spikes as well.
You know what that reminds me? That reminds me like when you have reporters on television, right? And one reporter standing in Copenhagen or Oslo or whatever, and then the other one on the line is on the street on location, DC, New York or something, right? Yeah. And then it's that lag with like, so how is the weather over there, Joe?
Yeah.
And then like 10 seconds we're like staring blankly into the screen. Oh yeah, like the weather is great.
Yeah.
And I still see that sometimes today, and I'm like wondering, what the hell? Is there no actual possible way for you to fix that? Right? Because like you know, like if they had like some kind of like device or whatever hooked up to TeamSpeak or Discord, there would be no lag. There would be no lag. There would be nothing.
But also, like, I do believe that the technology has advanced significantly just during these last 4 years, since we watched it the last time in 2016, where we had Trump being inaugurated, where there was still like quality issues, but now to 2021. There was literally none of it. It was crystal clear HD quality all the way through. And like I'm just satisfied with it. And also, like as they mentioned on this stream as well, You guys need to watch it. The inaugural Biden committee. I can't mention that enough. You need to watch that stream again. Like they mentioned, there was angles from which the footage they received was stuff that not a lot of television shows were showing. So it was actually, the stream I watched was very unique.
Yeah.
And so I enjoyed that. I actually enjoyed the stream very much, and the commentators were very engaging. It was like a female who was discussing with an older guy who had been like a journalist who had been through a lot of stuff on Capitol, in Congress, had commented on a lot of political events during his time. In as being a journalist, so that was really an interesting dynamic there was there to comment on it. So I actually think I learned a lot from watching the stream and just chilling, chilling, watching the stream, having a few beers, having a scotch, And right now I'm actually drinking rum, but whatever.
Okay, I want to touch down a little bit on Biden's political career, as he apparently began all the way back in 1971, where he would have been 29 years old, where he became a member of the Newcastle County Council from the 4th District.
Yeah.
And after this, there's nothing on what he did between 1973 and 1987, but it could be that 1987. But it could be that in these years he would have been working as a lawyer, since he did have a degree in law. But then in 1987 he becomes chair of the Senate Judiciary Committee. What is that actually? The Senate Judiciary Committee.
A judiciary is something about something with judges, like appointing judges, maybe. I don't know.
No, okay. It's a committee standing of 22 U.S. senators. Wow. Yeah, okay. So does that mean that he became a senator then?
Yeah.
At this age. Wow.
I mean, how old is he by now already?
He's 78 now. And that's he's the oldest. He's the oldest president to ever get inaugurated.
But that also just shows, Obama
was the youngest. Biden is the oldest.
Obama was 52 or 54 when he was inaugurated.
No, he was in his late 40s, 47.
Late 40s, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it just shows the fact that Biden is so old also shows how afraid people are, I think, to take the office of the president, because there is a lot of responsibility. I mean, imagine it. A lot of responsibilities that are on your shoulders. You have to not only lead America through new time, you also have to be a role model for the entire world. And I believe Biden actually addressed it very eloquently in his inauguration speech. He was actually addressing the rest of the world as well, and he was saying that America stands united now, and they're going to remake all their alliances around the world. They're going to retake the Paris climate arrangement. They're going to go into NATO again. They're going to retake their alliances with Europe. All that stuff. So they're going to go out. They're basically, what he said was, they're going to become social to the rest of the world. And maybe this is biased or something, I don't know, I'm not that much into politics, but how it sounded like, and I do believe he is correct in this, is that during Trump's presidency, America has retreated itself, has become antisocial compared to the rest of the world. And I believe that is the case, and I believe that is going to unravel now that Biden's the president. We're going to see an America that's going to be much more cooperative again, that's going to engage much more in trade again like it was before.
Yeah.
And that's essentially what we need.
It is. It is.
We don't need
And
a
then
guy who is gesturing all over fucking Twitter and
no.
saying shit like grab him by the pussy and
We don't
man,
need.
we've been through 4 years of fucking craziness now, and that has to stop now.
Yeah, I agree. And you know, like then in 2007, Biden became the chair, got a chair of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee, and this is where it gets interesting because there we see that he was like taking the place of Richard Lugar, but it was John Kerry that succeeded Biden in this position, and you know, like John Kerry is a famous politician, been in the news a lot, a lot during Obama's.
Haven't heard much about him though. I must admit,
Nah,
I'm a little bit in the gray zone there.
I think that he is like is he retired? No, he has assumed of. Oh no, Biden has hired him. That's funny. It's because it says that he's incumbent and assumed office January 2021. So he has been hired by Biden again. That like so no, like I wanted to say that this guy has had some massive political career, and he's also like been a lot to help Obama with you know, like climate talks and making deals, kind of like the deal maker, right? Traveling around. Anyways,
well, that's a very important job too, and I like also I think we need to point out at this point that the job of of President of the United States, of course, has a lot of load on your shoulders, but as I think we can all agree, during the past 4 years, the president is not in charge of everything. Like, there's so many people behind the curtain that deserve just as much as respect. And that I think that's the biggest lesson that we can learn, and that we should be thankful for. Because if it had only been the president that had been in the spotlight and had made all the decisions, then we would probably have been having the Third World War by now. Like, I don't know, man. It's crazy to think what would have happened if Trump would have been the sole person on the nuclear launch devices and on deciding whether to build the wall or not, all these fucking crazy things that he had planned. It's weird.
Okay, man. So what he has apparently been hired as is the U.S. Special Presidential Envoy for Climate, and that was formed today. So that means that so he has actually been hired from today by Biden, meaning that it seems like he's going to become some kind of like deal maker and spokesperson for the U.S. regarding climate and green change.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a good guy. It seems like he's solid AF.
Yeah. And even if he's not, I mean, this is what I talked about with my roommate as well. Like, you cannot possibly be more erratic as Trump. But of course, this is also lightly spoken, because you always need to keep yourself in check to self-evaluate. Is what I'm saying now, is that actually true, or is it just my own, like, am I just trying to convey what I think is true? And
I mean, like, we have all seen what has happened the last 4 years.
Yeah, exactly. And with Trump, Trump was the ultimate example of a guy who is what he says is the media is, which is fake news, but he's actually fake news himself.
Yeah.
That's amazing, like how you can create that kind of populism and get people to like you because you look funny, you have a funny haircut, and you you have certain rhetoric that seems to catch people's attention. But at the end of the day, what you're saying is just not a lie, but it's an omitting of the truth. It is just like, we are building this wall and we are going pretty great. But what I'm not telling you is that we're spending too much money on it. You know?
Yeah, well, let's move a little away from that maniac.
I agree.
Apparently,
I agree.
Biden ran for presidency twice.
Yeah.
Once in 1988, and then in 2008, and then now. Wow.
I didn't know he ran for president. I only knew that he was vice president under Obama.
Yeah, he was vice president for 2 terms.
Was he actually? Yeah, for 2 terms. Okay, that was what I wanted to ask, because I thought he was actually just for 1 term, the first term, but I didn't know.
Yeah, you would typically just follow the president, right?
Oh, I didn't know it was a tradition, actually.
It is, it is a tradition, and unless you're going to retire, or or you have some beef with the president, and
but I actually thought that the vice president was elected the second time as well, like, because the president is elected as well. Like Barack ran against Mitt Romney and Donald Trump.
The vice president is not elected. He or she is chosen by the president, or in this case, the presidential candidate. It's because if you remember back then Biden was announcing that he wanted Kamala Harris as his vice president if he were to win the election. And the same with Trump, that he announced very early on in the campaign that he wanted Pence to be his number 2.
Who did Obama run against the first time? Was that Mitt Romney? I can't remember.
He ran against the first time.
I mean, I was 15.
The first time?
Yeah, the first time.
Oh man,
it wasn't Trump. That was only the.
Hillary Clinton was also in it.
Yeah, it was Hillary versus Trump. I'm getting fucking things confused.
It was Hillary versus Trump. Yeah. Were you asking who Obama ran against?
Yeah, the first time. I mean, he ran against Mitt Romney. That was the second time.
Yeah, that was the main guy, and Ted Cruz.
Ted Cruz, yeah. Right? That was the first time. Yeah, but I don't remember that because I was 15 years old and I was like, Obama is the good guy. But other than that, I didn't know shit. Back then.
What was so respectable about that was that Obama didn't just have the money on his account. He was, sponsored every cent, from normal people.
No, yeah. No.
Right. And this is actually the reason why a lot of the presidents are old, because it takes an average $400 million to pay for your presidential campaign today.
Yeah, it's like that's one thing. We got the fucking enormous financial expense, and 2, you have to have a certain, you'd have to have navigated the political landscape for years and know what the fuck you're doing. And you need to have a lot of life experience. You need to be fucking well set. You need to be able to convince the people. And 4 things, I could go on, but the 4th thing to close it off is you need to be okay with the fucking pressure that's going to be on you and stepping into a potentially life-threatening scenario, which the presidency is.
Statistically, it is one of the most lethal jobs in America.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So it is a fucking. I mean, I couldn't even of course, I couldn't do it, but there's a lot of other people that couldn't even do it. You couldn't do it. fucking I don't even think the prime minister of Denmark could do it. Like
No.
they would be intimidated as fuck.
It's an insane burden to take on.
Yeah.
It is.
It completely is.
But yeah. But that's but still, like it's very interesting, and but it's also interesting because the United States is such a young country. It's less than 300 years old, and the
Not
States,
younger than Israel, which we learned the last.
No, not younger than Israel, but I feel like the difference is that Israel was handed.
No, we don't want to get into it. We don't want to get into. That was just my.
I'll mention it quickly.
Yeah, okay.
Israel was handed to them, right, by the world powers.
It was
the world powers handed Israel to the Jews.
Yeah.
And with America was carved out in blood.
Yeah, true.
Cavemen stabbing.
As we've been through in multiple other of our podcasts, you can go check that out, guys. So that was the only reason why I mentioned it, because we've already made a discussion about this already. So you can just go back and listen to that.
But yeah, like back on point there, it takes on average $400 million to become president. And you know, like how long time does it take you to amass that kind of money or connect? Connect.
Exactly. Like because it's not just yourself, but it is also like because it's impossible to raise that much cash on your own. You wouldn't even be. Trump couldn't even do that. You have to build yourself a network of people that are able to sponsor your fucking campaign. So it's a very complicated process of making the deals, becoming the fucking making the like human connections to do that.
Compared to like how it was 200 years ago, where you would just travel around, or the presidential candidate would just be traveling around on a damn horse and a wagon.
Fuck that. Like just coming there on your horse carriage and say like, we're campaigning for Teddy Roosevelt, or we're campaigning for Abraham Lincoln.
Gather around. Hey folks, you hear that like Teddy Roosevelt is going to hold a speech on the local tavern or salute, you know?
I mean, it's so fucking different times. And it's actually another point that this has nothing to do with the inauguration. I just thought I would bring it up. Like, do you think people read more back in the 19th century or the 18th century, when they didn't have the technology that we have, like screens or movies or television shows, you know, like
yes,
yeah, man, me too. I think so too.
100% yes. I mean, like
they must have done, because what else was there to do, you know?
Well, there was like a few things, because you gotta like remember that back then, simple tasks for us was not so simple back then, right? You wanted your clothes washed. It wasn't to put them in a damn washing machine. You would have to go down to a river and knock the clothes with a damn rock to get it cleaned with some soap, right? Or to you know, like scrub it on a what do you call it, a washboard. And so like these tasks that are simple for us would have like taken them time, like an hour to do that, right? And then hours to make dinner, right? As you know, like things weren't as accessible as it is for us today back then, and like, you know, like an oven would consist of like what, charcoal or burned wood, yeah. burn wood for oven, so you would have to ignite a fire, right,
Yeah.
under the oven to cook something in it. So all these simple tasks for us would have like taken them a long time. But then again, I am also pretty sure that they would have had better health back then than the average world population today.
Yeah.
Because
Definitely.
they were forced to eat more vegetables, forced to eat more fresh meat than we are in fish and all this, right? Since you didn't have the opportunity to store it, right? You didn't have a refrigerator. Shit would go bad within a day, right?
Yeah.
You know. So no, like with all this, then I think that like they lived healthier in that aspect, but they also did that like 50 years ago. But still, damn. But
Yeah.
yeah, I do believe that people read more in the 1800s and early 1900s than today.
Yeah, I'm bringing it up because I just recently read an interesting article, and I'm trying to been trying to find it here while you were talking about this,
Yeah.
about all the different sorts of entertainment that there was back
Oh yes.
in the
Oh
17th
yes.
century. I just can't find it here. But like what I do remember is there's an interesting thing here in Quora. No, this was just why it is considered good to read a book instead of watching a TV series or a movie. And his responses was that you can get inside the person's heads, feel the thoughts, feelings, and motivations when you read a book. You can describe background information much better, tedious background information that's important to the story. And but that was not so much to the entertainment. There was also another article.
That's true. That's true, man. If you read a book, you're also kind of making up the images of the characters yourself in your own head.
Yeah, exactly. So you're not bound to the director as much.
No, so you're using your brain in a different way, right? Since you have to focus a little bit, while if like watching TV, you can pretty much just sit there and drool with a damn cheeseburger in the other hand, sit there and drool like and still fathom what's happening.
Yeah, and also I found the article right now, so I can just go through it. But now I remember. So this is an article that's about. You guys can see it here. I don't think we'll get cited for this. What were some of the common forms of entertainment in the late 1700s? So this is the 18th century. And here we have such things as music and dance. So people like to see people showing up and performing basically for them, and playing instruments live. We have the live music, we have the live dancing in front of mostly it was rich people, but also lesser wealthy people.
We have touched down on this before, and I believe like we came to the conclusion that that people were just way more connected back then.
Yeah, I believe so too, because there was not so much. I mean, today there's so many fucking forms of entertainment. There's fucking Netflix, there's online computer games, there's fucking bowling, there's fucking mini golf, there's like, and I'm just fucking ranting things out here because there's so much shit. But back then, there was only like music and dance. There was board games. There was hunting. Yeah, hunting was a sport. Fishing, theater. Theater has always been big. And then there was fairs. Fairs where you could like sell stuff and buy goods, like where you could auction off stuff. and where you would see acrobats and rope dancers and wrestlers and stuff and trained apes. That's what it says here in the article. But that was it. You know, like now we have like fucking tenfolded our amount of entertainment that we have today, and which is why like I'm a little concerned about this, to be honest, because does it fuck up people?
Does it what?
Does it fuck people up? Because we've been living with. I'm sorry, we're getting a little off topic of the inauguration here. I hope that's okay.
No, I get what you're saying.
It's still kind of connected to like the culture of America and the culture of the world in general, that we have so much more entertainment and for like, imagine this, man, for thousands of years humanity has been living with these. I can share my screen here so you can, or send the article to you so you can get a quick overview. Yeah, you can get a quick overview. I'm almost finished. We have these fucking few things that people have always been able to do: music and dance, board games, hunting, fishing, theater, fairs. And then we live in our time, within the last 50 years, where we have so much fucking more that it is difficult to actually follow along. And maybe that's why people grow older today, because there's so much more to experience in our time. Now I'm done.
We're also growing older today than we did then, but I would also say that we're also growing colder. You know.
But why? Why?
Because you know, like it's the mentality that we're going at. We are becoming so many people on Earth.
Yeah, but why do we have this mentality? That's what I want to get at.
Why we're getting this mentality now?
Yeah.
I don't like, you know, I can't say that I have an answer for you. It's just
I believe
what we're evolving to from all this disconnectivity, disconnected from our roots. Like you were mentioning there, right? Because they would constantly be connected to the roots. We would constantly, you know, be talking to people, and it wouldn't be, you know, like that. Hey, I'm going to send you a message. Hey, man, is it cool that I come over? No, back then I would just show up on your damn doorstep with a bottle of whiskey or some beers. I'd be like, hey, man.
Yeah. No.
And like this is just gone today, and it is just making it easier for everybody to say no, or to don't do it, and further on like disconnecting themselves, and then the pressure with like all the jobs that there are too many people around the bone to get. But it's also like further disconnecting people, right?
But I believe I have a theory on this. You know, like you said, you didn't know why this is, but my theory is because there is so much of it, as I've listed up before. Like back then, I've just listed up the things they had before as entertainment, and that was relatively spaced out activities like fucking hunting or fishing. That's like you cast your fucking line out and then you wait for hours until you find something. And what do you do while you wait? You talk to your fucking peers. But now we have all this fucking shit. We have like Red Dead Redemption. You gotta fucking play that. Oh, you have fucking Left 4 Dead. I don't have time to play with you on Left 4 Dead because I have World of Warcraft. No, I have a RuneScape too. No, I have fucking chess that I need to play too. No, fuck man, I have this fucking thing. I have fucking this fucking thing. No, I also have something. I have something that I need to do down at the fucking arcade games. No, I have this. There's so much. There's too much. Too much.
Yeah, you made your point 45 seconds ago. But
I know.
Yeah. There is way too much. I agree, and everybody just needs to slow the hell down.
And I think that's where the coldness comes from, because by having so much, you cannot fucking engage in one thing together with someone else. You have one person over here who's interested in A. You have one person who is interested in B, and then you say, "Oh, B sounds nice. Let me hear about that for 10 seconds, but I gotta get back to A because and then I gotta get back to C because I always have these two things here. I can't really listen to B because I have A to Q that I need to concern myself with." And I think it was just much easier when we had you went to the theater, you watched a play back in the 17th century, and then that was what you discussed for 1 week.
Again, I think that people were also like way more grounded because it was sure as hell not a norm back then to be like, gotta get a house, gotta get 5 horses with the nicest cart there is, right?
No.
This didn't exist. It was just survive and do okay, right?
Yeah.
That was the damn norm, and that is just like vanished out the goddamn door, right?
Yeah.
Because today the norm is not that. Today the norm is gotta get a big ass house, gotta get a big ass SUV, right?
Yeah. And for what? And for what?
Yeah. And for what? You know, like
just to show off to your neighbor. Hey, I got a big ass SUV.
Yeah, because this is where it comes from. Like, the neighbor has a big house, I need a bigger house. The neighbor has a car, I need a bigger car. You know, it comes from that. It comes from that damn mentality right there.
Yeah.
And you know, like I don't know where it's coming from, but you know, that's it.
But I believe it's coming from this the screen culture. I'm just gonna call it that because that's my theory. This screen culture that we have where we don't really interact with. I mean, we're talking like that too, but I mean, like we have a good way of doing it, in my opinion. But there's other people that don't even see each other, or like that are just talking to each other on the phone, and that's all the contact they have to each other.
Man, that also reminds me that a lot of this is like also coming from, you know, what we see on television. Because you know, and this is something that like surprised me really much, because like, you know, like on every American movie you watch, right, then families are living in some abnormally large damn house, right, of like 800 square meters, big ass pool, 5 bathrooms, right? And for a long time I thought that like, wow, is this how they live in the great United States of America? Right? But no, because like, then I figure out, you know, after I got to know people in America and I got to travel there myself and stuff, then I find out that, you know, like that's not actually the norm in America. That's what they portray to us for all these media sources, right?
Yeah.
But it is not the norm when you go there, because because every American are not making hundreds of thousands of dollars a year.
No, quite the contrary. Quite the contrary.
Far from it. So actually, it's over. It's over how much it is in Denmark, but it's at least like 50% of all living estates and apartments and houses in America is rentals.
Yeah,
rentals,
wow.
Right? Because
I believe that this is also the same thing that you showed me in Oslo, actually, in Norway, none the least, where a nurse, I believe you were showing to me, or you posted earlier. A nurse will only be able to afford like 2.5% of the fucking.
One out of 40. How much is that in percentage? 2.5.
Yeah, I believe it is 2.5% of the housing in Oslo. Like because the rest is too expensive.
Yeah,
it's fucked.
I was asking you if there was a similar index for Denmark, but I will explain the index for you, right? Because like it is based out of the Norwegian nurse index.
Yeah.
And the reason for why you call it the nurse index is because, well, a nurse in Norway is a pretty decent job. It's a pretty decent job where you earn a decent amount of coin, and you're not struggling financially.
Yeah,
Okay,
same here, same here. But
if you're a nurse,
it is a hard job though. But yeah.
Yeah. So a nurse on average earns 68,000 American dollars a year. Holy shit! in Norway,
Wow.
right? So like that's why the index is, and so like like thinking like, what the fuck? You almost at like 70 grand a year, and you're only able to buy 2.5% of what the market has to offer.
Wow, fuck, man.
Right. That's
inequality. That's inequality right there.
You put that in perspective. I want you to like really put that in perspective, because if you have the same salary in New York City, right?
Yeah.
One of the most expensive cities on earth, you're able to live well in New York, in the city.
Fuck, man.
But not in Norway, and it's like, what the fuck? What the fuck?
That's so skewed. That's so skewed. How the fuck did that come along? Does the article say anything about that?
But as I read the article, then it's a little flawed, because it's like, okay, it takes what is the name for utgangspunkt in English?
Point of attack or something like that, like point.
Yeah.
Like in the middle, the center of the happening.
Okay. Base is the word for it. Yeah. It takes base point from that you have this salary of like 70,000 a year dollars, and have almost nothing in student debt, and let me Google that, man. And that you have 53,000 American dollars on your savings account. So my question is like, who the fuck has over $50,000 on their savings account? Nothing in student debt, especially in Norway. Go out and say, yep, I'll buy an apartment, and not only that, man. And how many have all this and are able to only buy 2.5% of the estates?
Oh man, right? No.
So to me, it was like sounding like, wow, you are really writing this article to make the sun really shine, because that would make it that the realistic number would be much lower, correct?
Yeah.
Much lower than the 2.5%.
Yeah.
Maybe like one in 100.
Oh, fuck, man. Like, I can't even believe that this is happening in Norway. No, this is a Scandinavian country.
But like I'm baffled by myself, but I'm not surprised. Oh yeah, and also the last thing is that it kind of like also takes base point in that you're going to get that apartment for the listing price in the market. And when the hell are you ever going to get that apartment for the price it says on the ad? You won't, because it will always come some dickhead and be like, okay, Alexander bid $500,000 on this apartment. No problem. I'll bid $750,000 because I am rich.
Fuck, man.
So I'm like wondering, like, why can't they just write it like it is and give like a realistic number, right? Because the realistic number would be way more that more and more people are being pushed out of the city in Oslo, and instead forced to buy property outside of it, where it's cheaper, and then ending up spending like 30 to 45 minutes on a daily commute to Oslo.
Yeah.
Right. So like, yeah, I thought it was a little flawed, but it was like really interesting to read regarding that, because it puts things in perspective. And also, before I like start rambling on here, how are we doing on time?
Yeah, I was just checking it. We're in 50 minutes, but that's cool. I mean, this
Okay,
is
okay,
the
okay,
inauguration
okay,
special plus more. So we'll call it
okay,
that.
okay, okay. So I want you to like, this is why it is so fucked. Um, I recently read about an apartment in the middle of Oslo. It was a little under 50 square meters or so, like 46 or 47. Um, in need of total renovation because owner had been living there since 1986 or something like that and had done shit with it since then. Right. Um, so it goes out on the market for a little under $600,000, 588,000 to be exact. You know, like, and you would like think that, yeah, okay, that's a steep price, but I'm like guessing that's what it costs to buy an apartment in Oslo. And you know, like, I'll pay that and get some money to renovate that, right?
Yeah.
But then, and I remember I said like almost 600,000, right? But then fuckhead comes and fuckhead comes along and say, yeah, man, like, I got a lot of money, and you know, like, my son needs an apartment to live in Oslo, so I'm gonna bid $900,000 for this apartment.
What the
What
fuck?
the fuck? What the
Holy
fuck?
shit, man.
300,000 above like asking price for total
Jesus.
renovation project. So you know, like, the
But
balance of
yeah.
scale, the balance of scale are uneven, way uneven.
But this is also what I talked about with some of my friends yesterday. Is all the people that buy these scalped or like scalping in general on the market is a terrible fucking thing, is and an unethical thing nonetheless. You know what scalping is?
Yeah, that you come in and you undercut the market,
Yeah, and like
by being the highest bidder, but just because you can,
yeah,
right?
yeah, because like I just learned I knew that in English, but I just learned that we also have it in
Yeah,
Danish
yeah,
actually. So apparently it's this concept where you come in and you buy 40 products of some very limited edition product because you have the money, or because you take
yeah,
loans, and then you sell it for a much larger profit margin than somebody else, and it's such a dick move, because it's just like, it shows that you're a rich fucking asshole who's sitting there. Gotta fucking buy up the shit, and then I'll sell it for 10 times the price and make a pretty penny.
Yeah.
It's just such an unethical way to do it. Fucking
Yeah.
scalping, man.
It's you're carving out the piece of the
Yeah,
market yourself, right? And
and
then you're creating the demand.
yeah, and then the
Right?
problem is, like, I think that's the same thing that's happened here with the housing problem in Norway, where people are just like, yeah, throwing out the money, throwing down that fucking cheddar.
This is another thing, right? They have also kept the national bank interest on 0%.
Yeah.
For many years now, right? And by doing so, the banks have no choice but to follow, right? And say that, okay, we gotta follow like national bank interest. So, you know, our interest is also 0%. If you choose to have like this fluent mortgage loan, right?
Yeah.
But that is just creating another vacuum, because it is just opening up for that anyone can take up a loan, right? anyone can get the loan because it's 0% interest. So you
Yeah.
don't really need that much to have the payback power, right?
Yeah.
And
It's
like that's also something that I thought like how they can keep doing it, because you know you're creating like an unhealthy vacuum in the market, pushing the prices up, right? And again, pushing these people out from the big cities that aren't able to afford these apartments, like nurses. And like eventually you'll end up having a city of 700,000-800,000 rich assholes,
yeah.
right?
Fuck, man.
Um, this is like something similar that is happening in New York, where low income families are being pushed out of the city because they want to make room for the higher classes. So they are starting to like to punch up those rents.
Oh
It's
man,
like
like
it's gonna,
especially yeah, like a
yeah,
fucking rent increase in cities is always fucking like a crap. It's just a way for the overclass rich people to put a damper
yeah,
on the rest of civilization, on the rest of their and really their fellow human beings. I mean,
yeah.
how fucking ethical can you get?
And I like this is where I kind of like admire Germany, since the
Yeah.
German governments have like put a roof on this, a limit of what
Yeah.
you can of what you as the owner can rent out your apartment for, especially in areas as such as Berlin, Hamburg, and München,
Yeah.
like high
Yeah,
population
yeah,
areas.
yeah. Fuck, man. Because if you were to do that, there would be significantly less people studying there,
Yeah,
and or just in general people moving there, and these cities are hotspots for
yeah.
trade, for lawyers, for bankers, for significant institutions, and if they can't. I'm not saying bankers need to rent, maybe, or lawyers even, but like there are
No,
significant
but
people. This was a poorly chosen example, but there is people that need to rent that are having important jobs there.
yeah,
That
but
that
it is preventing these
yeah.
higher class people from saying, "Hey, I can rent out my apartment in Tiergarten in Berlin for 5,000 euros
Oh
a
fuck!
month."
Shit!
Hey
Drinks
man,
is coming.
what's up?
Someone went into my room. I see. Damn.
Here's a
Yeah,
drink for the big boy.
you got, thanks,
Shit,
man.
man.
Yeah, here's
Wow.
the
Wow,
table, something
you got your own bartender there.
making.
Apparently, yeah. Shit, man. Just sneaking up on you, like. And what is this? I wonder what
This
this
is actually your Christmas gift for me.
Oh, interesting.
Cheers.
We gotta taste it. Cheers.
Well,
man.
what kind of drink is it? What's in it? Can you taste
It's
it?
awesome, right?
What's in it?
It tastes
A little bit like Christmas, right?
yeah, a little bit like Christmas, but also a little bitter, actually.
Yeah.
Like,
Maybe it's the tonic water. I don't know. But I think it's
Tonic
awesome.
water.
Yeah.
That's
Wow.
interesting. I wonder if it's something with alcohol in it.
Sounds like there's gin in
course
that.
it is. Cheers, boys.
All right, man. See you later.
Well, that was a nice surprise. But yeah, like it prevents
Yeah.
people that has the means and the resources from charging these ridiculous amounts of rents,
Yeah.
and making it actually affordable for a low income family, or a low income immigrant family to actually survive and live there, right?
Oh,
Because
this is actually good. This is really strong. This you guys.
that's
I don't know what this is. It might be something with kind of tastes like Jaeger, actually Jägermeister, but it's too light for that. Sorry,
Oh,
like
that's
I'm
good.
getting
That's
diverted
good.
here.
So yeah, I'm gonna continue a little bit on that.
Okay.
And I remember reading that
Yeah.
in newspapers, that families could rent apartments for up to like between 40 and 60 square meters in Berlin for less than 800 euros a month, which I don't at all think is expensive, like regarding it being Berlin and stuff. Also comparing it to if you were going to rent a 50 square meter apartment in Copenhagen core, how much would that set you back? 20,000? I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't really. I was busy.
You spaced out.
Busy making faces. That's the thing.
I was saying that in Berlin, you can rent an apartment for 700 euros a month, right? Making it affordable for low-income families.
And that's Berlin. That's the capital city.
That's Berlin.
Yeah. So like if you were like when I was in Bamberg, albeit a smaller city in Germany, but still big enough to have a university in it, my college dorm room was only 270 euros per month.
Yeah.
But very cheap. That's a college dorm room. So.
But you can imagine that like twice that, and you would have you would have your own apartment most likely. On 50 square meters in Bamberg.
Yeah, exactly. And that's it's in Bamberg, but you would still have your own apartment, as you say.
Yeah.
So, and it's still very cheap compared to the rest of the world, like New York and in Denmark, Copenhagen.
You compare this, like how much would it cost you to rent the 50 square meter apartment in Copenhagen core? 20 grand a month.
Fuck, man! At least
something,
at the very fucking like least.
And you can be like damn sure that you like have somebody with like means and resources that are sitting on these apartments and rubbing their hands like, hey, can I rent this apartment out for 25 grand a month? But I'm like noticing that these people are doing a hell of a job. Just hiding themselves, right? And because like especially here in Denmark, people don't talk that much about their wealth. So like your next door neighbor could be a goddamn millionaire without you knowing it, and earning $1 million a year on owning these apartments.
We don't talk about it, but it is implied though. People imply it, and I mean it's a better way to do it, of course, for sure. But it's still
implied. But I'm totally fine with it. I'm not going to go up in people's faces, and even if I were rich, then I sure as shit wouldn't be walking around in a 3-piece cashmere suit.
Fuck no.
Look at me, look at me, look at my big ass Mercedes.
Yeah,
right.
The style is to when you're rich, just let your money speak for itself. So like if you have like a nice house and you have a nice bathroom, just fucking say to your guest, bathroom's on the left, and then they enter and then they see the whole thing.
Yeah.
You don't need to fucking show off.
But still, like they wouldn't know that that this was bought cash or it was a loan, right?
No.
Like they would have no way of knowing if you're actually rich or not.
Yeah.
And I'm totally fine with that. And in Norway, this is a little bit different. As like I have this engineering friend in Norway, and when he introduces himself at parties, you know what this fuckhead says? He will look at you, and his first question will be, "Who are you, and how much money do you earn?" And I'm
wow.
Like, what the fuck?
Fuck, man. What a loser. What a fucking loser.
Way to open up a conversation, bro.
Yeah. Jesus.
And then and then I mentioned like my brother-in-law that was bragging about earning this $95,000 a year.
Yeah.
Compensating for something, I don't
What
know.
the fuck, man?
But no, like I really don't understand the mentality, and this is where like the Danish mentality is like way better regarding this, because people don't go around
Yeah.
brag. They don't go around fucking bragging about having this or having that or having bought a summer
No,
house or
no,
whatever the fuck,
no,
right?
no.
They're like way more. Okay, man. Danish people are way more grounded in that way, at least.
Yeah, but I also think like we have this problem in Scandinavia, Sweden. I'm talking Sweden, Norway, Denmark, and some parts of Finland too, because we are so fucking rich up here. I mean, we have a living standard that is like fucking like what do we have? We have fucking internet. We have fucking nice cars. Compared to the rest of the world, we have incredibly nice cars. We have incredibly nice service. We have a nice knowledge society. We have everything. We don't need we like even if you are on your ass, you can get fucking kontanthjelp. You can get fucking cash help. So like we are fucking rich up here, and they don't have that anywhere else, and that's why the fucking level of bragging is catapulted onto a level, because we are humans, so we need to brag always, like for some fucking reason.
Why?
I don't know, fuck man. I don't know. And yeah, exactly. That's what I want to fucking ask humanity. Why? Why do we need to brag? But apparently that's the fucking thing, man. We have it so good here, but we still brag about wanting more and more and more, and especially in Norway. Apparently it's even more crazy up there. But in Germany, for instance, they don't have that. Like, there you have these fucking middle class people who are just working standard 9 to 5 jobs and are just coming home and are just like looking forward to the end of shift beer, man. That's literally it.
Way more healthier mentality.
And then they just fucking come home and then they just talk about what a fucking sexy ass that chick had, or what a fucking crazy cat they saw on the fucking road or something. I don't know, man.
This reminds me of a podcast I listened to with Joe Rogan the other day, where he had this stand-up comedian woman on. I'm gonna like figure out what her name was. We're talking, but anyways, they were talking about, you know, how a lot of people choose to focus on negative shit, right? Instead of just letting it go and focus on themselves, right?
Mm.
And the terms that he used was that Rogan used was that, like, if you're looking at your brain, like it's a bandwidth, right? And you have 100 out of 100, right, in your brain, and then for like every time you choose to, like, hate somebody for something, or like being pissed because that guy earns more money than you, or that guy has a bigger fucking car than you, or whatever, right? You're using one of this bandwidth, another one, right?
Yeah.
And eventually you only have like 10 or 20 out of 100 left to use for shit that you actually care about.
Yeah. Right? Yeah, exactly.
But like this is
like, I think the point of this is you use so much fucking energy on people that you don't really, that aren't even in your life for real. You just give into them, kind of.
You just give into it, right?
Yeah.
And like
and then you lack the energy for the people that you really care about.
Yeah.
Right.
You do.
Yeah.
Because you're choosing to like to focus on this shit. And I did like that she did shoot back, because like, let's be honest, like that Rogan has like never hated on somebody in his entire life.
No.
Fat chance of that. So he did admit that in the beginning of his 20s, beginning of his career, he was a jealous prick. Wondering why that motherfucker was more successful than him on stage. Why that guy had were able to like catch the crowd in a way different way than him, and so on, right?
Yeah.
But he says that he eventually managed to get away from this way of thinking because it was not beneficial in any way, right? Because
No.
it is there is nothing beneficial about focusing on destruction,
No,
right?
no, no. There's not, and yeah, that's a very good point. I mean, like, because focusing, and I have that first-hand experience myself when I was like a year ago, and like when I was a little bit depressed because of my bachelor's and stuff, like that. Like I don't want to go into that, but like, yeah, when you focus on destruction, you can very easily get into a point where you're like, nothing makes sense. I just want to die, like, and that doesn't fucking make any. It doesn't lead you to anywhere. It just leads you to a downward spiral that just keeps going down and down and down. And you need to find, and when you are in that situation, it just takes one person who just says something good to you, or something that you think of, or something that you see online, doesn't matter what it is, that turns that spiral around and gets you up again. This took a dark turn, but the point of it, the point of it is just like that you need to find that thing, that spark that keeps your passion alive, that keeps you fucking going upwards instead of downwards, that keeps you in the not in the captivity of negativity, to quote T-Bag here from Prison Break. I don't know why the fuck that came to my mind. But that let's reverse that, and that keeps that brings you in the movement towards improvement. Movement towards improvement. Let's call it that, man. Just fucking made that up.
Movements towards improvement.
Movements towards improvement. You just need to focus on that spark, and that can be anything from a fucking smile of a chick that's walking in the grocery store that you look at, and she looks at you like, and that just makes your day, and that can fucking set a motion, that can create a ripple effect that just gets you out of your misery and gets you fucking going towards where you want to go.
Yeah. Okay,
but I'm not an expert.
Like the name of the woman I watched on the podcast was Nikki Glaser. Brilliant comedian, by the way. Brilliant. But yeah, man, are we going to end it here? Yeah, it seems like you're empty.
No, this was the wrong glass. I don't know. I took the wrong glass, man, because my roommate came in with another glass. Fucking very kind of him. But like, I must admit, I gotta ask him what this drink is, because it tastes.
What it consists of, what the mystery drink consists of, and you should name it maybe something like Purple Nurple. Yeah, Purple Nurple.
What does it look like? What does it look like to you?
To me, it just looks like rum.
Yeah, but it has tonic in it, and it tastes like tonic too. I pretty much can only taste the tonic, but then there's still a slight.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I'm so bad at this. I'm so bad at taste testing.
Well, let's end it here. Man.
No. We have to do some final thoughts, because we are on what are we on? We are on
final
one.
Thoughts.
Okay, we're actually on 1 hour and 15. But yeah, like final thoughts on the inauguration of Joe Biden. What do we think? You first, and then me.
I think it would just be nice to see somebody grounded in charge of America and the White House.
I agree.
Yeah, that's what I said. And I don't know if it's the correct referral. We need to check that later. But I believe Teddy Roosevelt said something like, "A president serves the people, not the country." Right. And with people, it's the other way around. people serves the country, not the president.
Yeah, that's true.
Can you follow that?
Yeah.
Right?
There's a beautiful metaphor for not creating like a dictatorship rule.
Yeah.
It's a perfect metaphor for democracy and how the government is only there to protect the people and is only there to ensure the healthy reciprocation or the future of the people, rather than a leader, rather than the authoritarian leader that we know from the Middle Ages, we know from fucking monarchs, tyrants who have been ruling the countries for hundreds of years. Granted, maybe they thought that went well, but then again, there was also a bunch of suffering, and I just don't think that our age is in that state. We need democracy, because also I think it's just a different time. Like, as we talked before in this podcast, we are in a state where there is not a person who is that well informed that they can make all the decisions.
No, it's not. I wanted to ask, have you read anything about Theodore Roosevelt? Or seen like any documentaries about the man? Because
that's very limited. But I have read about him. Yeah.
For me, like, I'm baffled over that character, because this guy was, he would be unshaken and would not move an inch for anything else than what he believed was the truth or what was right.
What he believed was
because like he had an insane, drive for being righteous and doing the right thing, right, all the time. So he would never compromise. And when asked about that he because he was on multiple occasions told that you need to be able to compromise in order to get what you want, right?
Yeah.
And his reply would be simple: I don't believe in that.
Wow.
Right. From chief of police in New York City to the president of the United States. And he's also the reason why America has all those preserved national parks today.
Yeah,
because he fought for this, and man, what was that guy's name? Because on his mission to make this happen, he stops by Deadwood, right? Like a new town on the rise in the Midwest, and he picks with him a retired marshal in the town, right? That was just as unwavering and unshakable as himself,
Yeah.
And it has always baffled me that men like Roosevelt. Man, I gotta figure out that guy's name. Hold on, just a second.
In the meantime, I can just say what I thought was the best thing about Biden's speech, Joe Biden's speech for the inauguration, was the fact that he was like something we've been hearing about so many times, and it may be a cliche, but it never hurts to repeat things, because guess what? We fucking, as humans, we forget the important points, and it's never bad as it is with an inauguration like this, that we only have every 4 years or every 8 years, depending on whether the president is reelected and so forth. It is never bad to get things repeated. So that's why I think the most important part in Joe Biden's speech was actually this thing that he talked about, that he wants to be a president for all Americans, not just the ones who elected him. And sure, we have heard that several fucking times. We've heard that over and over again, but it never hurts to get it repeated, because we, as humans, we fucking forget. we fucking get drifted off in fucking Netflix series or fucking books or some bullshit fantasy novels, fucking series that we have read or articles that we read about bullshit meat that's being good for us, blah blah blah. And at the end of the day, we forget these simple things that movies teach us, that books teach us, that literature teach us, that we have heard several times before, and several leaders have said this before. I will be the president for all Americans, not just the ones that elected me. But we forget that. Yeah. But I think it's just nice, like every time that we hear it, and that's why we need traditions like the inauguration every 4 years, that we have some leader that reiterates it and reminds us of this, that the president is not just for the people who elect him. The president is for everybody. Yeah. Right. The president is for for all the people in the United States of America and for all the people in the world. And that's why we, the fucking Scandinavians on the corner, are talking about this, because the inauguration, the president is for everybody in the entire world as a role model.
I found it. I'm going to stop your rant.
Okay, sorry. No, but I actually think I think this was important. But I'm going to stop now.
I found it. So the guy Seth Bullock moves to Deadwood. That was a rowdy and lawless camp in the Midwest, and it was like not under any law at the time, since it was an Indian land. And the day after he arrives, Wild Bill Hickok is murdered in the same town.
What the fuck?
Yeah, shot to death in the back of his head while he was playing poker. Way to go, right? And it was probably just some dickhead shooting him so he could go out and yell like, "Oh, kill Wild Bill!" Right? So this goes on, and then then he figures out probably that, like, okay, maybe it is not time for me to goddamn retire yet.
No.
So he ends up being the logical choice for this wild place as a sheriff. But he was like, of course he was not elected to the position, because the place was like, who are you to bring law into this place? We're all so much better off just murdering each other and fighting.
Oh man.
So he goes to talk to the governor of the territory, the Dakota Territory, Governor Pennington, and is then just instead appointed sheriff by the governor, so he can return and restore order to the town. Oh man, that is just crazy. And then he lasted about 9 months before, like, I guess, like, he had it, and said, like, again, like, okay, you know what, fuck this town. Right? And then it goes a little time, a year or something, and then he says, okay, fuck it, I can't go now. I've been like 9 months away, and I'm seeing this town go to shit again, so I'm going to run for sheriff again. And then he did not win the election though, but he was also awarded a 2-year term as sheriff then. So, like, like, this guy was like unwavering. He would not cheat, he would not be corrupted or anything like this, and he gets an issue with the local brothel owner Al Swearinger. in the town, and like, what is so mad crazy about this is that the two of them were fighting all the time, right? Drawing guns at each other, fighting again, drawing guns at each other, but nobody would ever pull the trigger. Nobody would ever pull the trigger, because the brothel owner probably didn't want everybody in town to know that he was a fucking dickhead, even though he, he was a fucking dickhead.
Yeah.
And Sheriff Bullock just wouldn't kill him because he wouldn't be that guy. He had morals. So like this just keeps going, and eventually, like word hits President Theodore Roosevelt about like, what's all this bullshit going on in Deadwood? I gotta take some horses over there and like meet this guy, because that seems like some dude that I can have with me, like on a mission to create these national parks.
Yeah.
So he goes there to talk with him, and he joins him after it. But like, what's crazy now is that okay, now he knows that like I gotta leave town, for a while with President Roosevelt, and I gotta appoint a temporary sheriff, in the town. And who do you think he has to interview for the job? None other than Wyatt Earp. Wyatt Earp, motherfucker.
Oh, shit.
But like, I don't know what has happened. Like, I would love to know. But apparently he thought that like Earp was just some bullshit motherfucker who didn't deserve the job. So. Go home to Darcy, Wyatt.
And what time does this novel take place?
It is not a novel. This is real life, man. Early 1900s.
Right.
Same as Red Dead Redemption.
Oh yeah, okay. That's why the similarities. Fuck,
Yeah.
man. Shit.
But damn, man, like that, it's like some crazy happenings in that one small town, with Wild Bill, Theodore Roosevelt, and Governor.
Yeah. Fuck.
But like, it was like a little poetic justice though for like that brothel owner, because his brothel burned down twice. Fucking twice, man.
Shit.
Right,
talk about a self-made businessman who has started twice, making it twice.
Yeah, but like the second, like the first time it burned down, then he had the money scratched together, because like, then fuck, no problem, I'll just build a bigger brothel and squeeze some more hookers in there to make me that cash. But the second time burned down, he did not have the money for it, so so he actually ended up broke, penniless, and murdered on the streets of Denver. So
wow.
So that was like some poetic justice for some piece of shit. Right?
Yeah. What a fucking story, man. However, like we have already, I just checked it like a minute ago. We are already on almost 1.5 hours here. So this has been somewhat of an inauguration special, but that's cool. I mean, I'm cool with it. But like,
I will just end it though. I will end it with this. So. No.
Hold on. We gotta retake it because you were lagging there. Okay, so hold on. Okay. Like we will take a breath now.
Yeah.
And now the lag is gone, and now you can proceed.
Okay, so Bullock then meets Theodore Roosevelt in 1884, and this is when they are introduced, because he is bringing a horse thief known as Crazy Steve into custody in the range. There's something that will become a town called Belforge. And after meeting during this arrest, the two of them becomes lifelong homies.
Yeah.
And Roosevelt later said, Seth Bullock, that is a true damn Westerner, the finest type of a frontiersman.
A true gunslinger, yeah.
True gunslinger. So so it is like it's in the words there that like that he
Yeah.
knows that okay, this is a man that can get things done and keep his morals intact.
Oh.
So it is like probably after reading about all that bullshit happening in Deadwood after this, a little bit and take him on for this like mission, kind of like giving Sheriff Bullock a kind of like a rest, right?
Yeah.
From all that bullshit. But yeah, man, that is like some crazy story happening in one place in America. All these people meeting together at the same place and so on. And my final words for the podcast will be: let's hope that Biden will be just as fine president as Teddy.
Mm. And Abraham Lincoln, by
And Abraham
extension,
Lincoln,
because that's
Yeah.
always that
And-
seems to be the father that we always go back to, aside from George
Yeah,
Washington, of course.
Yeah. So thank you all for tuning in, and until next time, folks, peace out.
And thank you for listening to this very special episode of the inauguration. I thought it was great to listen to, and I hope you enjoyed it too, even though you had like a bit of a spontaneous coming in there. But actually, I want to thank you too, Pat, here for joining us here tonight, because even though you are the host, you actually had something more busy evening to do tonight. So actually, I want to thank you for joining us here tonight.
No problem, man.
That was very great. All right, man. You guys know what to do. See you in the next one. Peace out.